Hello, thank you so much for joining me today. My name is Dumi, and I've created this channel to share my life experiences, inspirations I found from others, lessons I have learned, and things I have been taught throughout various periods of my life. And I thank you so much for joining me today. I am so interested in doing something very fun. So I have done a few episodes. I think it's 60 episodes in total. Um, when I started on this channel, I released audio only videos, mainly because I was camera shy and mostly because also I wasn't very confident with my camera quality and I wasn't sure how editing works and all of that. So I recently started releasing videos with me presenting the topic of my choice. And I find it quite interesting doing it this way. And I feel that I am slowly learning to be more interactive on this channel. I do a lot of research on my topics. Please bear that in mind that I am not a professional counselor. I am not an addiction counselor. I am not a wellness coach. I am nothing. I am just a person who has decided to go on this journey and find peace while I am alive instead of hoping that I am doing the right thing all the time and I'll make it somewhere once I have died. So, as I record as I go, when I find more interesting topics, I put them on. I record a video, and I have got a couple of people, a few people who follow this channel, and one specific one actually requested that I do a sort of episode where I get back to the basics of understanding addiction and literally answering one specific question. How do I know if I am an addict? How do I know if I am an alcoholic? Um, what are the signs? We do have families that are worried about their family members who are worried about specific signs that they see in their loved one, but they do not have the tools to ascertain whether their child, their husband, their wife, their partner, their spouse, their loved one is addicted to something. Now, addiction is not only based on drugs. Addiction comes in all sorts of different ways. We have drug addiction, alcohol addiction, sex addiction, addiction to pornography, addiction to gambling. We have overeaters, which is also an addiction, and there are various other addictions that exist in the world that we live in. And there are certain things that we can look out for. There are certain questions we can ask ourselves, and there are certain symptoms or signs that we can look out for to know whether we are addicted to something or not. So, today, specifically, I want to literally just simplify things and show you some of the ways that we can find out. We are lucky enough in 2022 and for the last literally 30 years or so, having access to internet and having access to search engines such as Google. And I just want to show on this video how one can go about finding out just using Google and using the tools that are available on the internet. So I'm going to record a screen right now, and that recording, you will notice that I am literally using my Google Chrome, basically in guest mode. Um, and the reason why I am doing that is because I don't want, as I'm going through all of this, that some of my search items show up on this video, and then I don't want to be editing and stuff like that. So I'm going to start a search on google.com, and I've opened a new tab as a guest on my laptop, and I'm going to record everything that I do. So the first question I will ask is, how do I know if I am an addict? All right, and then I'll just press enter and have a look at what results are popping up on the screen right now. So what you will see is there are ads that you will find when you Google. So these are websites that pay a certain fee to appear on top of search results. And, you know, you can click on the first one that pops up if you like, or you can scroll down where I hardly select pages that have got ads on them, unless I cannot find what I am looking for anywhere else, and then I'll click on those ones. So here you've got the first result that is not an ad is from cornerstoneofrecovery.com, and it says 10 signs you may be an addict. And this is their website. You'll see this was updated on the 2nd of April 2019, and you can click on that and see what they say. But I would like to go slightly lower here, and you'll see the next website is healthline.com, and it says recognizing an addiction problem. Okay, so that is what they will look at. Now, we are in South Africa. I am in South Africa, and I'm aware of some organizations that deal with addiction, mental health issues, and really will give you more localized information. So one of those is sadeg.org. This specific site here is talking about Substance Abuse Awareness Day, 26 June 2018. All right, so it's not taking us directly to their website. But let's have a look, because we are based in South Africa. Let's see what this specific page has to say. So I'm just going to click on it quickly and then have a look and see if there's any information here that we can take away from this website. Okay, the page has opened. I'm just scrolling down quickly, and immediately here it says the National Department of Social Development, in partnership with SADC, has run 24-hour substance abuse helpline, which is 0800 12 13 14. It's a toll-free number. You can call this number, and you can actually have conversations with the people from SADC to find out where, if you have an addiction problem, where you can get assistance, what it is that needs to be done. And what they usually do, if I'm not mistaken, is sometimes they give you contact details for people around your area that you can contact and sort of guide you in the right direction depending on the help that you seek. All right, so I'm going to get out of this website, and then I'm going to go into the next one. Okay, the next one is webmd.com. And this article seems like it's getting right to the point. So, right. So, this is an article by Paula Spencer Scott. And let's just see what she has to say. Okay. Addiction. Here they start with addiction to prescription and street drugs and alcohol is a serious problem. If you are worried that you or a loved one may have an addiction, there are signs to help you know. Signs you may have a drug problem are as follows. So they say you keep taking a drug after it's no longer needed for a health problem. So this will apply to prescription medication, pain medication, things that the kind of medication that you might be prescribed by a doctor, and you find that it's no longer working, but you still go back to it because you have developed a dependence to that specific drug. Okay, the next item they say is you need more and more before you feel an effect. So, as an example, when you take your first hit of a street drug, as an example, you get a specific reaction to it. Your body, for the first time, will react a certain way. You will get high very quickly the first time. However, when you take it the second time around, the experience is different. The effect of the drug is no longer the same. Same will apply to alcohol. The first time you take alcohol, you will feel a certain way, and when you take it again the second time, the effect is not the same. The effect is hardly the same every time. So then you have to take more and more of that substance to be able to get, they actually call it chasing that effect that you felt the first time you took the substance that you are addicted to. So you build a tolerance to the substance, which requires you to take more to achieve the same or a similar result. Okay. Then the third one they mention here is you feel strange when the drug wears off. You may be shaky, you may be depressed, you may be sick to your stomach, you may sweat or have headaches. You may also be tired or not hungry. In severe cases, you could even be confused, have seizures, or run a fever. This is one of the signs that a lot of people who've been using a specific substance for long periods of time start experiencing. With alcohol, as an example, it doesn't happen the first 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times you take alcohol. But as you increase your alcohol intake, the more years you drink, how often you drink, then your body builds a dependence on alcohol, and that dependence will then cause these kind of symptoms when you do not have alcohol. With harder drugs, it takes a shorter period of time for you to start experiencing the withdrawal symptoms for your from your drug of choice. And from what I've heard before, and people who have been addicted to harder drugs, they always say that the hook of on the drug is quicker, and it takes way more time. It takes lesser time to get hooked and get addicted and start experiencing these symptoms once you don't have that drug at hand. All right. The next point that they mention here is you can't stop yourself from using the drug. Even if you want to, you are still using it, even though it's making bad things happen in your life, like trouble with friends, family, work, or the law. This is a very important point over here because when we are using an addictive substance, in the beginning it is fun. In the beginning we get high, it feels good, we think, we become more confident, we think we can take over the world, we get out of the skin that is making us uncomfortable, and we use it more often in different situations when we are with people, because we feel a little bit more confident than normal. However, what sometimes happens with some people who do take substances is, um, when they are on it. I'll make an example with alcohol at the same time. In the beginning, when you use alcohol, you can have one glass and go to bed and carry on with your day. It's not a problem. It progresses and it progresses. The next thing you know, you're taking 3 glasses of alcohol per sitting. Not a problem. You go home, you go to bed, it's not an issue. A few years later, you find that every time you take a drink, and as soon as you take a drink, you cannot stop. The first drink leads you to ordering another one, and your thirst becomes more and more, and you want to drink more and more because you are seeking this effect, and your body just cannot um, cannot have enough. I think they say, one is too much and 1,000 is never enough. So you may find yourself in a position where you are drinking until you black out or you pass out, or you really start losing your memory and stuff like that. But when it comes to this step over here, this point over here is when you cannot stop yourself from using the drug, okay, even if you want to. Now the point here is, even if you want to, when you get to that point and you're like, okay, I have had enough, I need to stop, for whatever reason you may find you need to stop. Is it financial? Is it there's an important occasion at home? Maybe you've got a new child. Maybe it is something important. You need to study, you need to get to work on time, and you want to stop, and you find that you cannot stop on your own. Then you know it is one of the signs that you might be having a problem using that substance. And when you actually use this substance, you find that so many bad things are happening around you. You find that you're involved in accidents. You find yourself falling more often than normal. You find that um, you are putting yourself in dangerous situations where every once in a while you're losing your phone. Every once in a while you're getting into a fight. Every once in a while you find yourself in a position where you wouldn't normally find yourself in. Then you need to ask yourself that question to say, but is this me? Is this what I want? And why does it happen when I am on the substance, when I'm drunk, when I'm tipsy, when I'm high? Why do these things keep happening? And another great sign is getting um, getting in trouble with the law. It happens quite often with people who are addicted to substances. You may find you get arrested for drinking and driving. You may find yourself spending the night in jail. You may find yourself getting off with just a simple warning, or meeting a prosecutor or a judge who sends you for a diversion program and stuff like that. So this is quite important. And when you start hearing your friends and your family say to you, I think you're drinking too much, or I think whatever it is that you're using is affecting you negatively, you know, take it seriously. Really take it seriously, because um, when your family says to you, I think you might have a problem, take take a step back and really think about it, because our family, our friends, our people at work, our bosses will normally tell us the truth when they see changes in our behavior. At work, they will tell you because it may affect your performance at work, and in that case, it might be a problem for the people you work for. All right. The next point we have here, it says you spend a lot of your time thinking about the job. Okay. You know, when you find yourself sitting doing something constructive and your mind just goes and you're thinking about your substance of choice, whether it's your painkiller, whether it's a glass of wine, all you're thinking about is taking it, and how to get more of it, how to get more when you take it, how good you feel or how bad you feel afterwards. These are questions that one only the person can answer for themselves. Nobody can tell you how you feel. Nobody can tell you what it is that you think about, and nobody can really say to you, okay, this is how you feel, therefore you might have a problem. These are the questions. This is the question that you need to ask yourself, and really, really, when you get to this question, you need to be really honest with yourself, because you are the only one who can determine whether you have a problem or you don't have a problem. All right. Then the next one we move on to is, it says here, you have a hard time giving yourself limits. Okay. So this also comes into moderation, what we refer to as moderation. This is when you start finding yourself in situations where you say, okay, um, I really enjoy having a glass of wine, but whenever I have a glass of wine, something happens and I cannot, I find myself in trouble, as an example. So you start putting limits, and you go to a party and you go to a family function and you say, all right, I'm only going to have 2 bottles of beer this evening. And you make a commitment, say to yourself, this is what I'm going to do today. No matter what, I'm only going to have 2 bottles of beer. However, you get to the party, you have your first bottle of beer, you take it slowly, and you then say, okay, fine, I've got enough time, let me have another bottle of beer. You have another bottle of beer. And you find that when you get to the second bottle of beer, you cannot stop. There is this insatiable thirst that you feel, and your mind turns you over and says, come on, you can have another one. You still feel fine. You're not even, you know, you promised yourself that you're only going to have 2 bottles of beer. Why not have another one? And you have another one, and the next thing you know, you wake up in the morning, you are in your bed, and you don't remember how you got there. This is what this item is talking about, you know. It says here, you might say you only use so much, but then can't stop and end up using twice that amount, or you use it more often than you meant to use it. Okay, so basically that's what it says. The next point here on this on WebMD, they say you've lost interest in things you once liked to do. Okay, if you have hobbies, if you go to gym, if you enjoy meeting your friends for tea on a Saturday, if you like walking your dogs, if you like to take daily walks, if you like to get fresh air, if you enjoy painting, if you enjoy drawing, if you enjoy sport, and you start seeing that you are losing interest in those things, then you need to just take that into consideration and say, okay, fine, I am losing interest in things I really enjoy doing. And this interest is going to this drug of choice, or drinking a little bit more than usual, etc. All right. The next point says you've begun having trouble doing normal daily things like cooking or working. You've begun having trouble doing normal daily things like cooking or working. You know, it sounds so simple, but this is quite true. When you are an addict, when you're addicted to something, normal things become a little bit more difficult to do. Um, Things such as waking up, things such as taking a bath, brushing your teeth, the things that you normally do daily become slightly more of an effort to do, slightly more of an effort to get right. So just watch that. When you up at 4 and you go and exercise and you have your breakfast, you make your breakfast, you do coffee, you do all of those things, and all of a sudden you are waking up at 5, you do not have the energy to do all of those things, and you like everything becomes a drag. Watch out for that, okay? The next point, it says you drive or do other dangerous things like use heavy machines when you are on a drug or under the influence of alcohol. Right? A lot of us do that. In the beginning, when you were drinking, you have a drinking buddy, not a drinking buddy, a sober buddy. So the sober buddy, you would make sure you've got somebody to take you home. You'll make sure you've got enough money for an Uber. You've got enough money for a taxi. There's a bus that you can climb onto. You can leave your car. You can hand over your keys to somebody else. But eventually, what happens is that responsibility goes away. Eventually, you just get in your car and you go and you think, "Ah, I'm not drunk enough. I can drive. I can get myself home. I'm just tipsy. I will make it home." And you jump into the car and you go without thinking twice about it, without thinking about who you may be putting in danger besides yourself. You just get in the car and just go. All right. So this is something else that you need to be on the lookout for. The next point is you borrow or steal money to pay for your drugs. Um, this is quite common with addicts, with alcoholics. It is also very common with people who are addicted to gambling, very common with people who are addicted to pornography, to sex. Um, you get to a point where you cannot afford your addiction anymore, and you go and borrow from people. You may even lie about it and say to your friend, "Listen, I need 500 rand. I need to pay for my child's school fees." And your friend borrows you the 500 rand, you knowing very well that you do not need that money for your child's school fees, but you need that money to get your drug of choice or a drink, or you know something that will ease the pain that you're finding yourself under. And when you run out of people to borrow money from, you start stealing. This is very common with people who are addicted to drugs, but it also happens with people who are addicted to other things. And this is one of the signs that we can also look out for in determining whether we are addicts or not. The next item is that it looks at is you hide the drug, or you hide the drug use or the effect it is having on you from others. When it starts becoming a secret, when you feel the need to um, drink less in public, um, when you start buying bottles at a bottle store and go straight home and switch off your phone and close the curtains and sit by yourself and start drinking, um, or when you go by yourself and get your drug of choice and quickly hide it in your um, boot somewhere and get home and use it all by yourself so that people don't know that you're using it. You should know that it is not normal and it's problematic. So especially when it comes to alcohol per se, because alcohol is more social, it's more socially accepted. When people who have got the need or find it necessary to hide this socially acceptable um, substance, then you know deep down that you do not drink it normally. You are abusing it. Okay. Um, the next one says you are having trouble getting along with coworkers, teachers, friends, family members. They complain more about how you act or how you have changed. This is very important. Family members, friends, colleagues, bosses. I think I've mentioned it earlier on. They will probably know you've got a problem before you know you've got a problem. They will probably pick up the signs before you even are aware that your drinking or drugging is problematic. They will know that your gambling, your eating habits, all of those things are problematic. Sometimes even before you know it. So we need to just pay attention to that. Okay. The next item says you sleep too much or too little compared with how you used to, or you eat a lot more or a lot less than what you used to before. Depending on the substance, really, some substances give you more appetite, like we know weed gives you more appetite, it makes you eat more, even though you don't necessarily gain weight, but it really increases your appetite levels. um, Alcohol, it depends. Sometimes it increases your appetite levels, sometimes it decreases it. It depends on where you are in that cycle of your drinking spree, in the beginning or in the middle or towards the end, where literally you may find that you're waking up with a hangover and you cannot eat, and it takes away your appetite completely because you actually feel like shit. Okay. Then the next item, which is quite important, is the way you look. Drugs, alcohol affect your physical appearance if you use them, if you really abuse them. You look different. You may have bloodshot eyes, bad breath, shakes, tremors, frequent bloody noses, or you may have gained or lost weight. We are all aware of the loss or the gain of weight when it comes to addiction to substances. It becomes a physical change that we can see happening in front of our eyes. Okay. You may, it says next, you have a new set of friends with whom you do drugs with, you drink with, you go gambling with, and go splurging with, and go to different places to use the drugs. Now, because your current places, people know you, they will start telling you that you are doing something different and you will avoid those places. You will also avoid those people. You will avoid the places that you usually go to because they know you. You will avoid the people who know you because they know you. You will avoid family members. You will avoid your old friends because they will keep on asking you, are you okay? Why are you losing so much weight? What's going on? So you will find new friends, you will find new drinking buddies, you will find new drugging buddies. Trust me, they are always there. And you will find them, they will find you, you know, birds of a feather flock together, they say. So that's going to happen. Okay. You go to more than one doctor to get prescriptions for the same drug or the same problem. This will apply mostly to people who are addicted to prescription drugs, so to speak. And when it comes to that point, it is because you need the painkiller, because you need the sleeping pill, because you need something that alters your mood, you will go from doctor to doctor to doctor to doctor to get various prescriptions. But the ones who are really addicted to prescription medication even find pharmacists who are willing to keep repeating the scripts that they um, um, that they have given to the patient initially. Sometimes there are people who are willing to pay more than the normal price to get the drug that they need to get at the pharmacy. Okay. You look in other people's medicine cabinets for drugs to take. Okay. And the last one, it says here you take prescribed medication with alcohol or other drugs. Now, this one speaks for itself, and some of it's very specific to what it is that you're addicted to. If you think that someone that you know is addicted, this WebMD website tells you some of the symptoms you need to look out for, symptoms such as changes in personality and behavior, like a lack of motivation, irritability, and agitation. Bloodshot eyes, frequent bloody noses, shakes, tremors, slurred speech, change in their daily routines, lack of concern for personal hygiene, lack of unusual need for money and financial problems, changes in their friends and the activities that they. And if you notice any of these symptoms, I know for this episode I have selected one website which has got a lot of information, but I must say there are other places that one can visit. There's a really nice questionnaire that you can find on the internet, and this questionnaire can be found on aa.org. And if you search aa.org, all right, so when you go to aa.org/self-assessment, then here you'll be able to see the questions that are most commonly asked. So it says here, please answer yes or no to the following questions. Only you can decide whether you want to give AA a try, whether you think it can help you. Below are some questions we try to answer honestly. Let's see how you do. There is no disgrace in facing up to the fact that you may have a problem. All right, these questions are here. So it's yes or no, two options. And I would suggest that if there's any inkling whatsoever, you go onto this self-assessment. I'm quickly going to scroll through it. You go onto this self-assessment on this website and you answer these questions yes or no. And then once these questions are answered, you click here and then you see the results based on these questions that were asked over here. So you just click here and then it will give you the results of your answers to these questions. All right. So that is the start. This is how you can start. This is how you can find out for yourself whether you have a problem with alcohol and whether you have got a problem with drugs or whether you've got a problem with gambling. Now, depending on what it is you think you have a problem with, there are different organizations that can assist you, and there is a lot of information on the internet that you can search for yourself to have a look really as to whether you have a problem or not and where you can go. So if you are in South Africa as an example, you may just type in, where can I find help for addiction? Let's see. Alcohol addiction, gambling addiction, drug addiction, whatever addiction is. You click on the results and you just scroll down. Even better, just put your country in South Africa or put your city. If you are in Johannesburg, just put your city on there and search, and you can see there are some addiction centers that you can contact. There are rehabilitation centers. There are um, a lot of results that comes up. I just want to also have a look if we have any government related websites that you can go to. Here you've got aasouthafrica.org.za. It's on there. Let me just see what else is there. Okay, so that's that. Help is available out there. If you have any suspicion that you might have a problem with alcohol, with drug abuse, with your gambling, with your um, pornography, or anything like that, please know that there is help out there. Please reach out, speak to your family, speak to your friends. Somebody there in your society knows where to get help. Somebody is willing to help you. If you find yourself in a hospital, if you find yourself in a prison, ask the police people where you can go to seek help. Ask the nurses, ask your doctor, speak about it, be free.